And welcome into this latest edition of The Meltdown. Jim Dunaway of The Next Round joins the show today as he looks to fight off two competitors looking to capitalize on a number one contenders shot for the Meltdown Triple Threat Trivia Championship, a championship that is currently held by the winningest player in the history of the league, Mark Spud Friedman. We've gotten some new trailers today, including one of our most anticipated movies of the year in Wicked, that we got a first full-length trailer look at, along with the new Dune series trailer for HBO. We'll talk about those. And Lunce's list profiles the 5 professional sports franchises that could use an extreme makeover. It's all happening right here on The Meltdown, presented by MyBookie, broadcasting live from the Culver studio.
Two big boys in a tiny studio, teaching you and me about everything they know to make sound. A meltdown, it's the meltdown, time for the meltdown, coming for the meltdown, let's start the show.
And welcome in all of you lovely Meltdonians to this little project that we call The Meltdown, live daily, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern. We appreciate you being here. If it's your first time being here with us on this program, we'd love to have you as a subscriber. Make sure you hit that subscriber button. Along with that thumbs up really helps us grow the channel here on The Meltdown, as we are looking to get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the summer season. And we have all sorts of discussion for you throughout the summer months, including those summer blockbusters, the big TV series that are hitting, including House of the Dragon, The Bear, The Boys, Acolyte series on Disney+. There's a lot of entertainment to get through over the next several weeks, and we look forward to getting through it all with you right here on The Meltdown. I am Tim Melton. Joining me, as always, my co-host, Mr. John Lunsford. John, what are you searching for in there? Are you searching for yourself?
I'm searching for myself. I found myself. Hey.
I think that should be the title of your book one day. I found myself. Or searching for
Still
myself.
searching for myself.
Still searching for myself.
Yeah.
That works. One person that Jim Dunaway was searching for earlier today, that was one of his competitors in Meltdown Triple Threat Trivia. We have not made the announcement public of who that is, so we would like to unveil the world premiere of Jim Dunaway searching the hallways here at Disrupt Media of who he'll be facing in this number one contenders match later on in the show.
I'm not
It
nervous.
could be anyone in the world.
I hope it's Maggie, because I can beat her.
You know what I mean?
Who is it? I wonder who it is. Oh!
Come on, smart person.
How you doing? Very good.
Hey.
This isn't fair.
Why? They got somebody older than you here. You're always
No,
complaining
but-
about being the oldest person here.
But you know, half the crew, and Milton's like an adopted son to you.
Well, yeah. Well, that
I'm
may
protesting
be.
already. I can protest, right? We're almost matching. We both have our old man khaki shorts on.
Hey, it's an old man thing.
There may be some going, I'm not sure who exactly that is that Dunaway has walked in on. John, would you like to make the official announcement of who that competitor is?
Yeah, I had a little graphic there real quick saying that was my dad. That is Tim Lunsford, the elder statesman of the Lunsford family.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming on. He's been wanting to come on the show for a long time, and so we thought, what better time than trivia? He can come in and beat Dunaway. He said that my dad was his favorite Lunsford. So I don't know what my mom thinks about that, because I know he likes both of them better than he likes me. The simple mind here of the next round. But no, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Does it feel like a little weird watching your dad compete on a day in which you are not competing, John?
Well, I know when it comes to number one contenders matches, I absolutely wipe the floor with everybody. I don't think I've ever lost a number one contenders match, so I'm fine stepping aside. I don't want to obviously beat my dad unless he wins today, and then I'll have to, face him in the
No mercy at that point.
in the actual championship match. But yeah, I'm interested to see Jim on trivia. Period. I'm interested to see my dad on trivia, and then I'm interested to see the other competitors trying to fight for those final few spots to face Spud.
Are you still interested in seeing the movie Wicked that comes out later this year? We saw a first full trailer for it today, as this is a film that stars Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, with Jeff Goldblum playing the Wizard of Oz. Is this a trailer that worked for you today?
I'm intrigued because this is something that I never thought could be translated to a movie. And I've thought that ever since they did that Oz the Great and Powerful movie with like Mila Kunis, James Franco. I don't remember who all was in it, but Oz is something that for when The Wizard of Oz was done, you obviously just had to have some practical effects, some sets, and that's pretty much as far as you could go. Now you want to take a very magical world and go so over the top with it that the Broadway set and the play set in general, traveling, everything, is very elaborate for what a typical Broadway set is. But same kind of thing. You can just go basically off, very much practical sets, lights, costumes. That's pretty much it. That this is going to go over the top, and it looks very over the top. It doesn't need to go over the top, I think, in order to ultimately be successful. But there's a lot of in-the-weed stuff about this that, as somebody who has seen Wicked more times than I can count, from Broadway, Chicago, Atlanta, Birmingham, everything, that I'm very interested to see if they can pull off. The one thing that surprised me, we didn't see hardly any in this trailer at all, is really probably the third main character of it, with Fiyero, who's the main love interest, and he's in it for maybe 2 seconds of the whole 2.5-minute trailer, and he's integral to the part because he ultimately is part of the Wizard of Oz story. That there's a lot of other characters that they didn't cover as much. They had more Michelle Yeoh as Madame Morrible than they did as Jeff Goldblum as the Wizard, and it's only the first act of the play, and so Jeff Goldblum himself is not in it a bunch, but I'm afraid it's going to be too much for people that if they try to do part 2, that ultimately is going to be a giant failure.
Part 1 is set to come out November 27th of 2024. Wicked Part 2 is currently scheduled to come out November 26th, 2025. So 1 year apart for both halves of this film. If the first one doesn't do well, if it underperforms, you're stuck with this odd Part 2 moment. It was the same thing that Mission Impossible just went through when they had Dead Reckoning Part 1. They've now dropped that to where it's just known as Dead Reckoning, and there is no Part 1, Part 2 of that story because it underperformed internationally.
It's because they're trying to do so much with this. It's like, well, everybody's doing the Part 1, Part 2, so let's do that with this. This has not earned it from the movie treatment. It has from the Broadway treatment. It has from the old school Wizard of Oz, which was obviously just one movie. But it's like, we're going to make this so grand based on the story that it is and the lore behind it. We got to split it into 2, but I feel like at that point they're doing too much.
This has got a lot of talent behind it, but will it deliver? I'm not sold on it just yet from what we saw in today's trailer.
I'm intrigued enough.
Producer Tyler is here. Yesterday, Tyler, it was announced that Dune Part 2 will be available to stream on Max on May 21st, and today, even more good news for Dune fans, as we got the first trailer for the new Dune Prophecy show, set 10,000 years before the birth of Paul Atreides, before the universe knew them as the Bene Gesserit. My question to you is, does this trailer excite you as a Dune fan because you've seen Part 2 5 times in the theater?
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely watch this. It looks interesting. That's one of the elements of the Dune story that hasn't really been explored a whole lot in the movies that I would like to see explored, so I'm glad to get a prequel series exploring the Bene Gesserit and how they got so much political power and influence throughout the whole galaxy or universe, whatever the Dune.
I think there's going to be a lot of backstabbing in this. It looks very politically driven, and John, it looks, as you pointed out, I was watching you watch the trailer, very Game of Thrones-ish.
It is. And look, Game of Thrones is what works for HBO, and this is an HBO thing. Dune is an epic film series, I guess I could say now, but it is something that for Timothée Chalamet's character to have risen to power, it's straight up because of them pulling the strings in the background, but there's not enough of that explaining to say, how did we actually get to this point? There's just little nuggets to kind of keep you, okay, I kind of sort of understand it, that I'm glad they're doing this. But it doesn't, because it's 10,000 years before Dune, the movie we have seen, happens, but it's not necessarily like old school, like, that Dungeons and Dragons style that we see from Game of Thrones. It still has the technology. You still see like the shields that they wear and stuff like that, like the electronic shields and everything. But it's just enough that like, okay, this is Game of Thrones meets Dune, two things that for the most part have been wildly successful. Let's go. I'm in.
The new Max original series, Dune Prophecy, is streaming this fall on Max. No official release date given. One fun fact, the worms in Dune have lots of teeth around their mouths.
Okay.
If you've got a dusty mouth after spending too much time in the sand, please visit my friends Dr. Jeff and Dr. Brian. Ride the worm over to Grants Mill Road and visit Alabama Dental Associates. I'm always thrilled to visit the professional dental team that they've put together, knowing that I am taking care of myself the best way that I can. I spent years having anxiety about the dentist, never being able to find that right fit for my needs, but now I have found the solution and I am happy to share it with you. They not only have all the latest advancements in dental healthcare technology, but they also have the friendliest staff in town. If you're ready to find that perfect dental team, there's only one team that I recommend, and that is the team at Alabama Dental Associates. They can help you feel at ease about all of your dental procedures. For more information or to make an appointment, call them at 205-956-8977 or visit alabamadental.com as they look forward to seeing you. Who do we look forward to seeing here in studio today? It's the one, it's the only, Jim Dunaway, who's making his appearance here live on the show for the very first time. Are we seeing Jim?
Oh, I forgot to switch
we
off.
didn't see any of Jim.
We didn't see any of Jim. Sorry.
But it's okay.
I was too busy hitting the round of applause because I appreciate Jim.
John, I can't deduct any points from you, but I would have. But I love seeing the smiling faces of Alabama Dental Associates. Sure. Jim, so happy to have you here.
Oh, I'm a big fan of the show.
We also can't hear Jim. What are you sabotaging Jim
I'm
because
sabotaging Jim.
He said that Tim Lunsford was his favorite Lunsford in the household? What's going on here? I don't know what's going on.
What is going on here?
There's a lot going on. I want to start with this, Jim. And that is a little bit of TNR behind the scenes.
Okay.
What's the most rewarding part of shifting from a traditional media career to that of crafting the next round?
That was something I was just talking to Kelsey about, because when we were just starting this, she still wanted to keep a radio component in this. And I think Lunsford and I agreed. We were like, Kelsey, you can't do that. We got to be all in on streaming. And
by the way, he's talking about himself. Kelsey and I said the opposite of that.
It's not John Lunsford you need to rattle today. It's his father, Tim. You're missing the mark here.
The best part of doing this, what we did was actually just the planning and building of it all. I understand now why college football coaches, basketball coaches to some degree, but really college football coaches, because it's a longer build. I understand now why some people job hop, while some people will go somewhere, take a crappy situation or nothing, build it into something, and then get bored with it and want to jump again and start from scratch and build it. The most fun I had up here, not that I don't have fun every day, but the most fun I had was from the moment we walked out the door over there until, early on when we started, the picking out logos and names and where the offices were going to be.
I think most people would find that process to be overwhelming, but you actually found it to be quite enjoyable, making 1,000 decisions a day.
Yeah, because I don't know how many people Lunsford were in on the decision process, but what was it, 9 at the time, 10, a handful of people, and the whole room was making the decision on everything. I mean, we literally were all in one room, and we're like, we've got crappy names. What's the name going to be? And here comes Rockstar's wife with a presentation. And at the end, we were like, oh, we like that. It's going to be the next round. And she's like, that's just one idea. Let's think about it. And we're like, no. That's going to be it. Because we had 62 other things we needed to accomplish that day. And we were like, we all agree with the next round. Let's go to the next thing. It was much like the Bartlett White House. It was a lot of people coming together and working for the right cause, and I loved it. That was really an enjoyable 2 days. I really wish Kelsey, Tyler, Emily Grace, Taylor could have been here. You could have been here for that part too, because that was such a magical part of what we're doing up here. Those first few days, I would imagine it would be, in our country's equivalent, like being there in 1776.
You're going to bring a tear to our eye here, Jim. It's very emotional. You talked about coaching changes, coaching searches. You were very much a focus during the Bama coaching search when you were locked up here for, 2 days total?
I think it ended
48
up being
hours?
It was a day and a half.
By the time we got through all the broadcasts and everything, it ended up being close to 2 days.
But it could have gone on a long time. But were you surprised at all with the amount of attention that got and the amount of people that enjoyed watching you held hostage up here at the Disrupt Media Studios?
That was, there's been some surprises. That was one of them.
What did you learn about yourself during that time?
That I learned first that the green room doesn't have a lock on it. It doesn't have a door lock on it. The second thing I learned, I will not talk about on the air, but I learned that I have a bad habit in the middle of the night of occasionally scratching myself.
Right.
And then I remember I woke up at like 3:30 or 4 in the morning, like, oh my God, I forgot I'm on camera.
Right. I feel like you should start an OnlyFans, Jim. I feel like that would do big numbers.
Yeah. I
Have you considered it?
I had to go back and watch that little point of the show to make sure nobody was
I gotta
commenting.
put my clothes back on.
Yeah. And then, but the middle of the night when there's nobody in the Blue Lake Center and our bathrooms are down each hallway, and I was like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. So being Mr. Cautious, worst case scenario, everything, I think I'm the only one in the building, but just in case, I take my keys, I lock the door on the way out, go to the bathroom, unlock the door on the way back in, then relock the door. But I'm thinking to myself, God, still, I'm sleeping in this room, the green room, I'm going to lock the door. Well, I didn't lock the door because there's no lock on it. So I took every chair in there, the 2 bar stools and a couple of other chairs, and I stacked them in front of the door to where at least if somebody came in, then
They're gonna have to work for it.
they're going to make some noise and wake me up. Because I was fearful of practical jokes. We don't have a lot of practical jokes up here, but I could have seen, Brown rolling in or somebody rolling up here and trying to scare me or be funny.
This leads me to a question I've wanted to ask you for a
Well,
long
imagine
time.
it's 3 a.m. Tyler's just standing over you, staring at you the entire time.
I had a machete him through the throat.
you-
Little machete.
Do
Boom.
you think you would survive a long period of time within a horror movie setting, do you believe? Or do you believe you'd be one of the first ones gone?
No, I've thought about this a bazillion times. I would initially just run into the fire. What's that great? This is how bad trivia is going to be later on. I know the name of nothing. I can just give you a scenario. It's the end of time. There's a big sinkhole. There's demons and dragons, and it's got the guy from.
Do you want me to go to my next question, or
It's got Seth so and so's in it.
This is the end?
This is the end. Yes,
end.
this
Yeah.
is the end. I would have been the guy that just initially just runs into the sinkhole.
Got it.
Just I'm going to run in and I'm going to die. I don't want the horror of it all going on.
You may not be the biggest fan of movies. That's kind of on record.
Oh, I
here.
love movies.
Oh,
I just don't know names
you
of
love
movies
certain-
or actors or anything.
Certain types of movies you like definitely over the wide array of all the different genres that exist, for sure. But you love music. Do you consider music to be one of the greatest forms of therapy that you can have in your life, with that love of music? And what does it do for you? Why is it something you continuously turn back to and promote in your own personal life?
Oh, I love it because it can take you to any second, any moment in time, instantly. Like I was riding down the road yesterday, and I don't listen to a lot of classic rock, but whatever channel I was listening to on my Sirius XM, Guns N' Roses, Sweet Child of Mine came on. Well, instantly, it's 1988. It's May, and I'm riding around with a girl named Buffy Burson, one of my friends at the University of Montevallo. White Snake could come on, whatever that song is, blah, 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 White Snake song. And then all of a sudden, I'm back at Wywood with my fraternity brothers, drinking a Bud Light, about to play a slow-pitch softball tournament.
But you also like current stuff. Like there's some current artists. Like who are right now some of the artists that are in your rotation that are current
I'm
chart toppers?
I'm a big Zach Bryan fan. Anything he turns out. I mean, I like Morgan Wallen. The songs he puts out. I listen to them and I sing along. I think they're very easy to sing along to. But I like Zach Bryan's lyrics better. I love Taylor Swift. I'm not a huge fan of the last one. And trust me, if anyone up here is part of a torturous poet society, it would be me. That would be me. But, even that was a little too sad for me.
You like music that makes you feel good, makes you reminisce, but also makes
not
you feel
really.
optimistic about the future? No?
I love 90s rap. I'm on I'm on Fly 48, I think, to the Sirius XM channel all the time.
Yeah.
That's my running music.
You're very critical of and I say critical in a positive way, I promise, of the Primetime Poker Club playlist that we've curated.
I'm not critical of it. I love it.
Oh, occasionally, though, a song will come on that's a little bit more of a downer, and you'll be like, oh, I am so sad during this. I hate this. I wish this would go off. You're very passionate in your feedback for it.
I've got a memory. I got a memory about everything. one of my least favorite people that I play poker with, Russell. He is the guy that
who I think may be up here in just a few seconds, so watch out.
I felt like I tabbed one of the opponents would be. And I say that he's a fun guy, but I have a motion. My wife calls me a Hallmark card. She's like, you want every moment of your life to be like the romantic comedies that you love in movies, or a Hallmark holiday. And I really do. I mean, I want life to be exactly like I've seen in TV shows and on movies, or I read about in a Hallmark card. I believe, our government should be the way it was on West Wing. Everyone should be fighting for the good of America.
There's two West Wing references, by the way.
I believe journalism should be like on the newsroom, with whatever that guy's name is that runs the newsroom.
Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah, both of those Aaron Sorkin shows, by the way. And romantic comedies, I believe like the guy and the girl that should be together should end up together in the end.
So what movie would you use to reference your triple threat trivia strategy or outcome that you hope to have? What would be a good parallel there, since you like to predict what your future may look like or what even your present may look like based on themes from movies and film and television?
It'll be a lot like the great, I don't know if it won Movie of the Year, but Road Trip. I think it's going to be a lot like Road Trip. The snake could jump out.
Well, we may have the snake right here. Let's go to the door and let's see who's going to enter here as one of your competitors. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, she's not a competitor.
Oh, you don't think he'll be much competition for you?
It's not Russell? Russell's not here?
Not Russell. You went hard on it's going to be Russell
We'll see.
train, and it was not. So let's get Ush in here. Ush, it sounds like...
hello.
Is it pronounced Ush? Ush?
Yeah,
Ush.
push without the P, Jimmy D. We've only been friends for
I know, but I call you
10 years.
Ush because I'm from Alabaster, so
Yeah.
it's very a little French. Ush.
Yeah.
Ush.
Yeah. I rode the worm over here. Good to be here, everyone.
What's your real name? What's your first name?
Joshua Clay
Joshua.
Sisk, full Christian name.
Oh,
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Ush, I can't help but notice what everyone else noticed, which was Jim felt a little underwhelmed by you being one of the competitors. I think we all felt that for a second.
I do agree.
I was told it was going to be someone that didn't work here.
Yeah.
But you're here more than most of our employees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The question
we
is,
count the days you're here in June and July compared to the days Lance are here in June and July.
That's
you're going to
true.
blow him out of the water.
The question is hype. If it's hyped too much, and then it's me, and I think Meltdonians right now are like, oh.
But you're a former champion.
I am.
You've won just as many championships as anybody else that's not named Spud.
Tail tucked between my legs. Haven't performed well lately. We'll see how we do today. We got Jimmy D, the legend, and then I'm going to be completely distracted by Lunsford's hair, which is gorgeous, by the way.
So are you unaware with who your third competitor is
I
in
am
all
not
this?
unaware.
Oh, you do know.
I do know.
Okay, it was made
So do
public
I.
a few moments ago.
Okay.
Tim Lunsford will be joining us here shortly
Legend. Yeah.
as the third.
Two legends in this
Hey,
game.
Everyone's a
This
legend.
will be the least amount of hair to ever compete on Triple Threat Trivia. We'll say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Wow. I was going to make a compliment about you, but not now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It only took him, 45 minutes since he's been back in the offices to get around to a compliment to you, but that has been taken away. That has been taken off the board. Ush,
Yeah.
as Jim mentioned, you're the most lovable non-employee that's an employee here.
Thank
you
you.
have a brand new show.
Jim never
as a
said
part
lovable,
of Disrupt,
by the way. The words lovable never came out of Jim's mouth.
As a part of Disrupt Media,
Yeah.
you have a brand new show. Can you talk a little bit about it? What's the aim behind it and how people can get it?
Thank you very much, Tim. That's the Pennant Grace with EG and I covering the Atlanta Braves.
Where's your name in that title?
It is not. We're giving that to the star of the show.
I learned very early that makes you disposable.
The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson is not the Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon, dated reference, but Jim's generation will understand. So, EG, the star of that, available on the Disrupt channel on YouTube right now. And there's no set cadence on that. It can be once a week, could be a couple of times a week. We did drop a show on Monday. We'll be back tomorrow. So as things kind of dictate, usually about 20 minutes.
Hey,
so quick watch.
It works perfect. You don't really know when you can watch it, much like Atlanta Braves baseball, because right
Very
now,
true.
a very tough thing to find. There's so
Yeah.
much frustration behind that.
Yeah.
Is that something that you felt from Braves country as well? Has that been a major point of conversation so far?
Yeah, I have, and it gives a lot of ammunition to the people who are already saying, boy, Major League Baseball sure is behind and won't keep up. Case in point, their television deal, and that is something that I do believe that the league eventually will step in and correct from a league-wide perspective. But it's a mess. It should never be that way. The goal should be to get as many eyeballs as possible on the product, which is what they're not doing. They are the opposite of the next round. In the next round, you can access by so many different ways, and but the next round's cutting edge. Major League Baseball, not so much.
It'll get there. It'll get there at some point. Now, there's a giveaway that you guys have going on right now on the channel that the winner will be announced Friday, so still some time here for people to get involved.
You can
I just show you what a super fan I am?
Please do, Jim.
Yeah, as a big fan of the Pennant Grace, right now you can register to win a commemorative 755 home run Hank Aaron bobblehead doll. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Wow.
In the box.
That would be the only answer I get right all day.
No, that is correct. Yeah. The greatest Atlanta Brave of all time. Take away all of his 755 home runs, still has 3,000 hits.
We've heard that
on the show. Huh?
We were watching that on the show. That's going to be a line you say every single week.
It is such an amazing stat. 3,000 hits alone is so hard to get to. And so... yeah.
He played from the 1950s and deep into the 70s.
He did, and from the great state of Alabama, Hank Aaron. Yeah. Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, both from Alabama. I think the two best baseball players of all time are from our state.
Ozzie Smith.
Yeah, there you go. Another great shortstop there.
So is Spud the Hank Aaron of Meltdown Triple Threat
He
Trivia?
must be, yeah. Yeah.
I'm concerned here. Ush, you were a little bit tough on your game, I feel like, coming in because you talked about how you're not performing so well. You lost by 1 point in a number one contenders match to Lunsford. It came down to the final question that was brought up.
Yeah, but I was playing checkers. Lunce was playing chess. He just outsmarted me. Not hard to do, by the way. Happens at home every day. But Lunsford completely just knew exactly how to play the game, and you can't control the questions you get, and so that strategy is even more important than I had realized.
Are you worried about future contests against your co-host, E.G., in this arena, or are you going to be just as ruthless as you've ever been as a competitor?
No worry exists for me when I am in the comfy confines of the Blue Lake Center. It's all good vibes. So, no, there's no worry. There's never worry. It's just happiness and joy and delicious Coca-Cola products.
Who do you think is going to be the tougher competition for you today? Is it going to be Jim Dunaway, or is it going to be Tim Lunsford?
Jim in vitro Dunaway. He's a wild card. That's the reference to the great Nirvana album In Vitro.
People had questions.
Album number 2.
But you never know with a new competitor what they're going to do. And I think that this game has proven that there can be a lot of surprises. And so the wild card always concerns you a little bit because you don't know what's going to happen.
I would tell you, though, that we used to play a game in our AM 690 days, Dunaway and Brown, that was called Jim or Not, of which just randomly I would come up with something, a story, and it'd either be true or not true. And if it wasn't true, I'd just come up with the answer. For instance, Nirvana's second album being called In Vitro, because so many bands who have a great breakout album struggle to...
In utero.
Yeah,
it is, and it's their third album.
I don't know if this is like actually a bit or not.
Struggle to produce a second great album, which is why they titled it In Vitro.
Yeah, I like that.
Jim or Not.
Yeah.
And in that case, it would have been not. It was Jim lying.
Jim's playing the segment all by himself.
Tim, if we go next round hosts, I would think the ones that would do best in order would be Lance first, Jim second, and Ryan Allen Brown dead last. Unless all the categories were Bane.
Because Ryan...
I don't think you would get those right.
Bane,
it would be the exact same
Kane,
order.
Pittsburgh.
Ryan would choose not to play.
Pittsburgh.
Lance and I would at least compete.
That's accurate.
Lance would definitely win.
Yeah.
I don't know who would be second.
Yeah.
Well, the gloves are
Sorry,
about
Jim.
to come off. We're about to be getting to a bout here for the number one contendership. I'm looking very forward to it as we await the presence of our third competitor, and I cannot wait for this. Oh, my gosh, he's right here. Ask and he shall appear. Mr. Tim Lunsford making his way into the studio, and Jim is standing, and he is clapping.
You respect your elders.
He's respecting his elders, he says.
Yeah. Did not stand up for us.
Things are about to get intense.
I noticed.
Get hard.
Yeah, I did. He was talking to me about, man, you guys have a lot of bourbon in the green room. I said, I think it's last I counted was 67 different bottles. And I said, if you want one, get one. And then I said, I'll drink one with you. Last time I had bourbon with an afternoon show on this platform, I ended up getting a tattoo. So
It's true.
I'm looking for another one.
Yeah.
That is an accurate story. Life lessons learned here on The Meltdown from Jim Dunaway, and some life lessons being thrown around every now and then from the one and only Tim Lunsford. There has been a demand for Mr. Lunsford to make an appearance finally here on the show, and that is happening. By the way, the chat going crazy saying, Jim, please don't talk about the Braves at all. None of them want you talking about the Braves.
Chris Sale is on fire right now. Nobody can score on him.
World Series champ, right?
What are
He
you
is-
doing to us?
Is he not playing well? 7
playing
innings
very
last night.
well now?
9
Was playing
strikeouts.
very well. Yeah,
That's is that 3 great starts in a row?
yeah,
Okay.
it's doing very well.
I-
He
I-
was.
The chat
doing very
asked you
well.
to not talk about the
Yeah,
Braves, but I guess you're going to lean
Max
right into
Olson
it there.
starting to hit the ball really well again. The offense is
Or
coming
Matt
around.
Olson. Yeah,
Easy little. Who did I say? Max.
yeah,
Max, a great rider for the Athletic.
yeah.
Padres are coming in town this upcoming weekend. Should be a sweep.
Very good, Jimmy
Yep.
D.
Triple
Thank
Threat
you.
Trivia is going to be fun, and thankfully I have 2 judges to help me today, in Tyler and John.
Can we talk about real sports now? As in, like,
Shots
maybe
fired.
NASCAR?
Keeping
Or
this under
wrestling?
control is going to be tough.
How about Brad Keselowski this past week?
Absolutely. It's about time he broke that stretch.
Mr. Lunsford, I want to talk a little bit about a book that you're very proud of, one that you wrote, and one that hopefully you'll come back and promote here on this show a little bit more, get into maybe the Lunsford's list, winding down the 5 things that we should care about most when it comes to this book. What was the idea behind the book itself, and why is it something that's so important to you?
Well, the book's title is The 5 Rules.
That's EG, by the way, with a hand that says stop, as in talking about the Braves. So, not you. You can continue to talk about what you want to talk about.
So I didn't get in here long, did I? The book was not written, it was lived by the Lunsford family. John, my wife Marietta, the smartest one of the bunch by a long way.
Oh, I totally agree with that.
And there's no question. And we have 5 rules that we're hoping to be able to bring in and share with you that everybody needs to know and live their life accordingly. And it can expand out.
Can you give me one that would correlate with Jim Dunaway today as he approaches Meltdown Triple Threat Trivia? Is there one that stands out?
I just wish I had the book like 20 years ago. I could have done something different with my life.
Well, I'm not exactly sure, but I think the rule number 1 may really apply. Never live in a mobile home.
Oh, I did. I did.
Too late.
I believe I remember down in the mud puddle.
Not by my choosing, but I did. A couple of times.
But you take something silly like that, and they're all equally as silly and fun, but then we expand how it can go into life, and it actually has a little serious note to it that it's, and I have been because John lived every one of those, and there's not a rule that we came up with that we were not all 3 experienced the moment that caused us to think about it, and the expanding upon it as it applies to anyone's life since.
Win, lose, or draw, come on back to us, and we'll get into the book a little bit more because I look forward to getting through all of these life lessons with you. I do worry.
Has anyone written a foreword yet for it?
No, it's already published, though, so I'm sorry.
Jim is trying so hard to work his way into this book somehow. Maybe we'll just get Jim to sign copies and give away to people.
I was just trying to help.
Hey, he's kind of in the doghouse because he said, I am his favorite Lunsford.
Yes.
My wife was listening. Well, but there's a third one that's not here, and I know what she said. She goes, I put him in a damn play, and he still, and he doesn't like.
Yeah, my Homewood theater acting debut, yeah.
She will be making a trivia debut at some point, but today it is about you, Tim Lunsford, and it is about you, Jim Dunaway, and it is about you, Ush, because it is time now, officially, for Meltdown Triple Threat Trivia. I'm going to go over the rules here.
Yeah, boy.
Everybody listen up, because these rules, they'll tell you everything you need to know. Here we go. There are 3 different opponents with 3 different ways to score points. Contestants will pick a number between 1 and 500. I will then present a general category. Some of the categories will remain a mystery. The contestant in possession of the round can either choose to answer it themselves for 3 points, try to stump the competition by forcing an opponent to answer the question for 2 points, or you can use Tyler as a helpful trivia teammate for 1 point. If you choose to answer the question for 3 points and you miss, then you are deducted 3 points. If you choose to have one of your opponents answer the question, they give the correct answer, then your opponent gains 2 points and you lose 2 points. If you choose to use Tyler and you don't get the correct answer, then you lose 1 point. The player with the most points after 6 rounds is your winner. Each player is given 30 seconds to produce an answer once the question is read. If after 6 rounds we have a tie, we go to an additional round with the players that are tied to determine a winner. There's also a famed Wheel of Destiny, which is utilized when you pick a number that activates it. And challenge flags are available for anything you consider to be a controversial decision which will be ruled upon. Just know that if your challenge is not upheld, you will lose 1 additional point following the ruling. And all of this is brought to you by the fine folks at Blakely's Bouquets. They craft both traditional and contemporary bouquets with plenty of room for customization and uniqueness. On top of their everyday arrangements, they offer same-day flower delivery here in Birmingham and beyond. They also do large event work for weddings and funerals as well. So if you're looking for flowers in Birmingham, then Blakely's Bouquets is really your best choice. Visit the team I trust. I know Jim Dunaway trusts them as well at blakeleysbouquets.com. Jim, before we play this game, you're a big fan of Blakely's, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I use them for a lot of things, including Mother's Day, from weddings to funerals. They'll do everything there, and big fans of music there themselves, and done a couple of haunted houses with Shelby there. So
that is correct.
Yeah.
And myself. I don't know if you remember that. I stole your hat.
Oh, I do.
I'm sorry about that. I'm going to now give you something, and that is a challenge flag.
Pass that to Ush?
Yeah, pass that to Ush.
Okay.
Ush, you keep messing me up. I keep thinking I'm going to do better.
Okay.
And then we will get this challenge flag over to Tim Lunsford. At any point, you can throw that if you'd like to. We first have to determine the order, which I think is a very crucial thing, of who will be going first, second, and third. This may take 20 minutes itself, but we're going to try not to have that happen. Red or blue is your choice. Tim Lunsford, call it in the air.
Blue.
It is red.
Well, hell.
Ush,
Blue.
it is blue. Jim,
I would defer to go last. I'll let him go second. Is that legal?
that's if you want to defer your option, that's fine. That'll save us a lot of time. Ush wins. Would you like to go first, second, or third?
Third.
And then Tim Lunsford, would you like to go first or second?
I thought, okay, I'd just as soon go second.
Okay, that is fine.
I'd love to go first.
I
This
wouldn't
worked out great.
recommend.
Works out great.
Don't throw your challenge flag yet. So the order is Jim, Tim, and Ush, and we are ready to start round number 1. Any questions, comments, concerns before we get started here?
No.
You do realize I was brought in strictly as eye candy?
I do realize this, and that is the
So
second
if I
time.
don't
that-
answer anything,
understand.
In that case, this should have been your camera. This should have been your seat.
I understand.
This camera angle is really low.
It is. You're getting a good shot there of
Yeah.
all of Jim. Okay.
Yes.
Question number 1 will determine based on what it is that you decide to go with as a number 1 through 500.
My high school baseball number was 9. I'm going to start with 9.
Number 9 is a wheel spin. So we are right here starting off with the Wheel of Destiny, as John is going to spin that wheel and get us a result. A lot of things can happen on this wheel, and we will explain what has happened to Jim as soon as we get the result. What is going to happen here? What does it land on? Super easy skip. This is the way it works. I'm going to ask you a super easy 2-point question, Jim. But if you miss it, then you're skipped in the next round to where you cannot answer. This is all optional, though. If you do not want to take this, you can take a 3-point question right now if you choose to not take the 2-point super easy skip.
Super easy seems to be scary for me, but I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of the spin. I'll take the super easy question for 2 points.
Taking the super easy question for 2 points. Here we go. Jim, in the movie Finding Nemo, what type of fish is Nemo? We all agree this is a super easy question, right? In the film Finding Nemo,
She is a female fish.
Nemo's a boy.
And we're off.
What type of fish is Nemo in the
go ahead and make your
Do you know what
plans
Nemo
next week,
looks
huh?
like?
Yeah.
I know what Nemo looks like. I'm gonna go blowfish. My official answer.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm down
The
two.
correct answer is clownfish. Clownfish. So this is the way it works. You lose 0 points, you gain 0 points,
Oh,
but you are
perfect.
skipped next round. So that
Which will
is
keep me at 0 going to round 3, which is a win for me.
Jim, you're the first person to ever miss a super easy skip question.
Sometimes nothing can be a pretty cool hand.
But sometimes
Hey, the first next round competitor is the first one to not go on to the next round.
there you have it. The pun wrote itself.
Yeah.
Tim Lunsford, you're currently tied for the lead. What would you like to go with for your number 1 through 500?
3.
Number 3, here is the category. The category is U.S. presidents. Would you like to take it for 3, pass it for 2, or consult Tyler for 1 point? U.S. presidents is the category.
Let me get Google pulled up first. Oh, that's not a thing.
That's you and the Lunsfords. I mean, all the Lunsfords have the same problem. They want to turn to technology during this game.
No, hell, I just want to cheat.
John,
Okay.
can you even tilt your screen down? I don't trust that y'all aren't colluding. What is you're going to take it?
For corner. Yeah, I'll take it.
Going to take it for 3. Here we go. Tim Lunsford, who was the 16th president of the United States of America?
Text your mom.
We can't have the same joke over and over and over
No, I was
again.
texting.
That's the problem.
16.
Yes.
Abraham Lincoln.
That is correct for 3
Yes,
points.
mine.
Congratulations.
How is that not the super easy question?
It just happened to be one of those that didn't make the super easy cut. He had to think about it. I apologize, Jim.
It's okay.
Finding Nemo will haunt you forever.
Good answer.
Ush.
Yes.
What number would you like to choose?
8.
Number 8 is a question about Star Wars. Would you like to take it for 3, pass it for 2, or consult Tyler for 1?
I'll take it.
Star Wars has plagued you in the past.
It has.
Here's the question. Who played the evil Count Dooku in the Star Wars prequels?
Christopher Lee.
That is correct for 3 points. Congratulations. After 1 round, Tim and Ush are at 3 points. Jim, you are at 0 points, and you have lost your turn. So we go back to Tim Lunsford for round number 2. What number would you like to choose?
88.
For those scoring at home, that's Dale Earnhardt, and then Dale Earnhardt Jr. for him.
There we go.
I was going with 8 for Ralph Earnhardt.
Sorry.
This is a question about literature. Very popular category here on Meltdown Triple Threat Trivia. Literature. Take it for 3, pass it for 2, or consult Tyler for 1 point.
I'm going to pass it to Jimmy Dunaway.
Passing it to Dunaway. This
Well
is a chance
read.
for you to get on the board.
I've read 3 books in my life, 2 by Jimmy Buffett, 1 by John Grisham.
Adventure of Sherlock Holmes was written by which writer? Adventures of Sherlock Holmes was written by which writer? The
Can you
Adventures.
give me a warning on 30 seconds?
I will. I will give you. You're probably right now at about 19.
Okay. I'm going to say my answer is Watson. Last name Watson.
Watson, a character in the book, so you're not too far off. But the correct answer is Arthur Conan Doyle. Arthur Conan Doyle. So Jim goes to -2. Tim Lunsford moves up to 5 points and has the lead. Ush.
Yes.
You now get to pick a number 1 through 500.
23.
Number 23. This is a question about pop stars.
I'm going to take that, Timmy.
Going to take this for 3 points. What is the name of the Taylor Swift documentary that was released in 2020?
I don't know.
What is the name of the Taylor Swift documentary that was
Stupid.
released in 2020?
I don't know. Something stupid. I don't know.
Something stupid? Is that your final
Yep.
answer? The correct answer was
Miss Americana.
that is correct. John Lunsford not playing today, but would be doing quite well. Ush goes
Taylor
down
Swift is Miss Americana.
to
Give me a break.
0 points.
Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince. One of her songs. Anyway.
Jim, as a Swiftie, are you just going to allow this talk to happen?
I
Unchecked?
thought I was still in the penalty box over here.
Oh, you're now a free man. After 2 rounds, Tim Lunsford is at 5 points. Ush is at 0. Jim Dunaway is at -2. Jim, you have possession of the board in round number 3.
Give me 337.
That is a wheel spin. Let's go ahead and spin that wheel. It has not worked so far for Jim, but anything can happen
Anything can happen.
here on Meltdown Triple Threat Trivia.
I don't think it's been mentioned yet. I want to make sure everyone knows that Comrade Tyler here is wearing his trivia hat. Looks like Nikolai Volkov. Yeah.
2 times the points.
Jimmy D.
This is pretty self-explanatory, but I will explain it nonetheless. The way this works is each of your options now is worth double the points. You can either answer it yourself for 6 points, pass it for 4 points, or consult Tyler for 2 points. Do you understand?
I do.
Here we go. The category is going to be technology. Technology. Would you like to take it yourself for 6, pass it for a 4-point swing,
He emphasized
or
pass
go
it.
or go to Tyler for 2 points?
Mr. Lunsford is does a lot with his hands, so I'm going to definitely skip him. I'm going to ask for Tyler's help here to get me back to even. So
Smart move.
Tyler's in for trying to get me back to even,
Correct.
Steven.
You get a chance to hear Tyler's answer first, and then you get a chance to whether you want to take it for
Okay.
yourself.
So if I know the answer, I can
If you know
override
the
it.
answer, you can override him, but Tyler gets a chance first. We're going to need that microphone in Tyler's hands. And here is the question about technology. Tyler, what inspired the name for the iPod? What inspired the name for the iPod?
No idea.
No idea.
Absolutely no idea.
Absolutely no idea. I assume it's not going to just hit you like a lightning bolt here. So we're going to go to Jim.
Let's go with a spaceship, like a space pod, an escape pod.
Like a space escape pod. Okay?
I like that. I like that. You're thinking big there. I think, and tell me what you think of this, Tyler, and then we'll decide as a team. Personal origin disc coming off of the CD era. You were able on the iPod at that point to choose your music. What do you think?
That's pretty wild, but it might be. I don't know. It's
Okay.
got as much chance as a space escape pod.
Yeah, I'm going to ride with Tyler's answer.
John, do you know the answer to this question?
It's from 2001: A Space Odyssey.
That is correct.
Somehow.
That is correct. So Tyler was actually really close.
Oh, I think that's correct.
That is not correct.
How is that not correct?
It is based on the
It's like open the pod door, open the pod bay house. something
EVA
like that.
pod in 2001: A Space Odyssey, or otherwise known as the E-pod. But it is not a. I would have to hear 2001: A Space Odyssey within the answer in order to be able, unless you'd like to throw the challenge flag. And at that point,
no, I mean, who rules on that? You?
I will consult John.
Well,
I will
because
consult
it
John
comes from like he would not open the pod door
to let him out.
That's like the scene that like is the big thing we're mentioning pod and everything.
Yeah.
Good guess, Tyler. Thank you.
Very close.
But did you even go with his guess?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you did go with
Yeah.
his guess? Okay. I thought you came up with something else for a
I
second.
did,
I'm
but
sorry.
then I chose to go. I saw the look on his face and chose to go with him.
Okay, Jim is at -4, but it is under a slight protest. I
No,
can
no,
tell
no,
it.
not at all. I'm a big fan of rules.
It's become more intense because we've lost the music, and John, if we can bring that back, that would be great. Thank you. It became way more intense, almost like a record scratch.
Something
or
triggered a
something.
bunch of bots in our chat. Remember those days?
Oh my gosh!
I'm trying to nuke the bots right now.
You do what you got to do. We are here in round 3, and it now goes to Tim Lunsford.
Oh, first off, John, did you really know that answer? Damn, the decade of knowledge was worthwhile, wasn't it? 12.
Number 12. I don't know if there's any correlation as to why you chose this, but it is a wheel spin, which makes John's technical life a little bit tougher here. Let's go ahead and spin that wheel and see where Tim Lunsford, who has a commanding lead right now, lands. The only player in positive territory. What did it land on, John?
Up for grabs.
Up for grabs. This gives everybody a chance. Here's the way it works. Everyone needs to put their hands like this right here. First person to raise their hand gets a chance to earn 3 points if they are the first ones to raise it. Tyler, needs you to be an extra set of eyeballs for me and let me know who raises their hands first. I'm not going to give the category. I'm just going to ask the question. Here we go. For 3 points, who is the lead singer of the band The Who? Ush was the first one to raise his hand.
Roger Daltrey.
Roger Daltrey is correct for 3 points.
Challenge flag
You need a challenge?
from Mr. Melton.
Oh, pardon me. Challenge.
Are you throwing the challenge?
Well, we have a huh?
I wouldn't challenge that.
Oh, do we not
It
get
was
a-
close.
No. I was challenging
The hand raising.
Yes.
I'm saying that it was Ush by just a hair.
Just a frog's hair.
I would say from my seat, it looked like it was dead on, but I don't have a.
Jim's trying to create chaos in the game, and I'm not going to allow
You
it.
would say that.
But you lost no points, so that's important.
That's all. And this was not. It was Tim Melton's trying to bring the man down.
Ush, pick a
Yes.
number.
32.
Number 32 here as we are in round 3 of this game. It is a wheel spin. My gosh, lots of wheel
Spin
spins
the
activated
wheel,
today.
make the deal.
Let's see what happens here in round number 3 as we have Killer Combo. No one has successfully navigated this, but I'm going to ask you unlimited questions. They're all worth a point, and you get to go until you miss.
Okay.
You get to go until you miss.
Oh, I like this.
You cannot lose any points. So
I like
you
this.
can only gain. It's basically a bonus round.
Okay.
It's now my favorite part of the trivia.
There you go.
Here we go. First question. What was the first feature-length animated movie ever released?
Snow White.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is correct. If you remember, last week the question was, who was the first ever Disney princess? They just happened to share the same answers, but totally different question. Congratulations for 1 point.
I will also say I got this one time, and the question was, how many of the dwarfs don't end in Y? So a lot of Snow White questions for this one. Just
Study
saying.
up your Snow White.
Just saying.
Next question. For 1 point, what city hosted the 2014 Winter Olympics? For 1 point.
You can ask me if you need help.
I'm not an Olympics guy. I don't know. Salt Lake City.
That is incorrect. Would you like to guess at it, Jim?
I'm going to go with Torino.
Sochi, Russia. Okay, so that kills your killer combo, but you did manage to get 1 point
I got
out
a
of
point.
it. Tim Lunsford is at 5 points, Ush is at 4 points, and Jim is at -4. However, you have possession of the board. What would you like to go with?
I would like to go with number 276.
276 is about animated movies. Take it for 3, pass it for 2, consult Tyler for 1.
One of my favorite genres.
One of your favorite genres. Yeah, Finding Nemo was real big on your list.
I am going to. I'm going to pass it to Ush.
Passing it to Ush for 2 points.
All right.
The Incredibles live in which fictional city?
Great movie. Don't remember the city at all. It's a city of superheroes
Is that your final answer?
that has superheroes in it. So I don't know if that played into the name or not. Heroville.
Very close. The correct answer is Metroville.
Okay.
Metroville is the correct answer.
In
So,
comedy, in the animation, usually Metropolis or something with Metro in it
Thank you.
is what I've always found.
Remember that for next time,
Jim,
Jimmy D.
successful strategy there. You're now
Quality cut in there.
at
from
-2.
Jimmy D.
Ush is at 2, and Tim Lunsford with a commanding lead
Commanding.
and control of the board. What number would you like to go with?
43.
The King.
Number 43 is about country music. Ooh. Would you like to take it for 3, pass it for 2, or consult Tyler for 1?
I'll go with it.
For 3 points, which famous country artist had a hit in 1957 with Walkin' After Midnight?
Patsy Cline.
Good answer.
That is correct for 3 points. And Tim Lunsford is dominating now.
Hey,
He's now up to 8 points.
you just hit my world right there. That was
Ush, what number would you like to go with?
33.
Number 33 is a question about Titanic history.
No. I'm going to pass that to Mr. Lunsford.
Tim Lunsford,
Now, is that Titanic movie or Titanic real ship?
either or.
Okay.
Here we go. That was a boat joke as well. Either or. Okay,
I like it.
sorry.
No,
What
that's
is
good.
what is the name of the ship that rescued Titanic passengers hours after the ship went down? What was the name of the ship that rescued Titanic passengers hours after the ship went down?
Remember, it's ends in a like Ania, Mesopotania. I'm not final answer. I'm talking.
I am not going to. Ush cannot raise his hand and take away your glory
No.
here.
But
We are in round number 4. "15 seconds on the clock."
okay.
If you need me to save you a little time, I can recreate the sketch artist scene.
Yeah. Jim, paint me like one of your French girls.
You actually have Titanic
Okay.
right behind you,
That's,
Jim, if you'd like to use it.
Turn that movie over, see if it's got it on the back.
I'm going to need an answer.
The Lufthansa.
The Carpathia is the answer. Carpathia.
Close.
Did you know that, Ush?
No.
Me either.
No.
I was going with Spyglass. Spyglass was my answer.
I was going to
Tim
say the
Lunsford.
old couple that Jim always references.
You ready for what?
Tim Lunsford moves down to 6 points. Ush is at 4.
Tight race.
Ush, you passed that over to Tim Lunsford, so that concludes round number 4. We now move into round number 5. It is a close one. Jim, what number would you like to go with?
I'm going to bounce into the 100s, and I'm going to go 155, 155.
You sounded like Casey Kasem there.
Yeah.
This is a question about Star Wars. Would you like to take it for 3, pass it for 2, or consult the lovable Ewok known as Tyler for 1?
I am going to pass this to Tim Lunsford.
Okay, everyone's going for the points leader here.
Trying to help you out. Whoosh.
Yeah, I'll take it.
For 2 points,
I love you too, Jimmy D.
Jar Jar Binks is a native of what Star Wars planet? For 2 points. Late 90s cinema is something that is troubling Tim Lunsford here. Jar Jar Binks is a native of what Star Wars planet?
It's not troubling me. It hit me right square on top of the bald head. Good.
Yeah, I would say that it probably bothers you more that your son could answer this in his sleep.
Could you tap that out in code for me? It's team. No?
Yeah.
You keep trying to openly cheat, and none of the attempts are funny.
Just think, your son probably has Jar Jar Binks bed sheets. Just trying to think of what they look like.
That's troubling.
Your daughter-in-law.
Also a low blow by me, Lunsford.
Yeah.
I don't
Sorry.
know the answer, but your daughter-in-law even knows the answer.
12 seconds.
That would be the planet Zoolander.
Zoolander, also a late 90s movie, I believe,
Yeah.
but maybe early 2000s.
Naboo.
Naboo is the correct answer. Tim Lunsford taking an absolute bludgeoning
Doo-doo on the Naboo.
down to 4 points. Jim, you're now up to 0, which is a massive improvement for your game. We now go to Tim Lunsford. You are tied for the lead and have control of the board. What number? This is neck and neck.
Remember, I'm only 4 back.
I am sinking like a hard turd.
Is that a Titanic joke?
How about 77?
It's a wheel spin. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel.
You like a dead gum wheel, don't you?
I'm telling you, you guys are just landing on the wheel left and right. What does the wheel say we should do, John?
Choose category.
Choose category.
Ooh.
This is something that benefits you greatly, I think.
NHRA drivers. That's not.
I'm going to give you 2 categories to choose between. However, you must take the question. So it's a 3-pointer either way. You must take the question. I'm going to give you 2 categories to choose between. Here we go. Question number 1 will be about literature. Question number 2 will be about the animal kingdom. Which one of those 2 would you rather have?
I'll stab at the animal kingdom.
Animal kingdom. For 3 points, what is said to be the loudest animal on Earth? For 3 points, what is said to be the loudest animal on Earth?
The hyena.
The hyena.
Can I take a guess?
You may, Jim.
I'm going to go the whale. The whale.
The sperm whale is the loudest animal on Earth. The hyena is the most annoying, and I know some people I've worked with in radio that can replicate that sound quite often. Tim Lunsford, I am sorry for your loss there, but you are now down to 1 point. Ush! You are now in the lead, clearly, and you have control of the board.
41.
Number 41. This is a topic about business. This is a business category.
I'm going to pass this to my good, close personal friend, Jimmy Dunaway.
Dunaway, a real big chance for you here because if you get this right, you're tied for the lead.
Thank you.
Here we go. Here is the question. Incorporated in 1892, this company became one of the world's largest film and camera manufacturers. What is the name of that company?
What is Kodak?
Kodak is correct. Jim
Backfire.
Dunaway
Wow.
at 2 points. Ush, down to 2 points.
Yep. Backfire.
Guys, we are now entering the final round of today's game.
Did everyone see that look that Jim just gave me? That was chilling.
Ush is at 2 points.
Yeah.
Jim Dunaway is at 2 points. Tim Lunsford is at 1 point.
Back to my eye candy roll again.
Anybody can win this, and it comes down to the final round. Jim Dunaway, you have the luxury of going first. What number are you choosing? I am on pins and needles to figure out how this one turns out.
317.
317. This is a question about animated television. You can take it for 3 points, pass it for 2 points, or consult Tyler for 1 point. Animated TV.
I am going to consult Tyler for 1 point.
Smart strategy.
Okay, let's hand Tyler the microphone. Tyler, here is the question. Brian, Portrait of a Dog, was the final episode of which season of Family Guy?
Oh, dang. Okay. I've seen that episode too.
Jim, are you feeling more confident now?
I am, yes.
Brian, Portrait of a Dog was the final episode of which season of Family Guy? For 1 point.
And Portrait of a Dog. It's not season 3, not season 4. I don't know, season 7?
Season 7 is Tyler's answer.
I was thinking season 2. How confident are you in 7?
Not very. It could be 2 because I think around season 2 or 3, Brian leaves and goes to Hollywood. So Brian, Portrait of a Dog might be him moving out.
How much do I
Season
lose
finale.
if
1 point.
1
So
point?
1 point swing. You can either gain a point or lose a point.
Tyler, I'm sorry. I'm going to go with me. I think it's end of season 2.
End of season 2 is the answer in which Dunaway has given. John is quickly wanting to jump in here and correct.
Season 1,
Season
episode
1.
7.
It is the season finale of season 1, Brian, Portrait of a Dog. So that brings Jim down to 1 point, tied now for second place with Tim Lunsford. Mr. Lunsford, pick a number 1 through 500.
99.
Number 99 is a wheel spin. Let's go ahead and
That wheel.
spin that wheel of destiny.
This thing needs a
Getting a
blowout.
workout.
This thing could change the course of history.
Good.
2 times the points. Now, this is where it gets very interesting because you don't have to necessarily take the question. However, if you do, you will earn 6 points. If you pass it, it is a 4-point swing. If you consult Tyler, it is a 2-point swing, which would put you in the lead if you do any of those 3 options correctly. So, here is the category. The category is sports. Category is sports. Would you like to take it for 6, pass it for 4, or consult Tyler for 2? Take your time. It's a very important decision.
I might as well take it because I know these two would get that right correctly.
Okay. So you're going to go for the...
I didn't know what Nemo was, so I would not count on that.
I think Jim's begging for you
Best
to pass
I
it
know,
over his way.
Nemo was not on a sports team.
Here is the question for 6 points. Which 2 tennis players competed in the famous Battle of the Sexes?
Oh, you know this?
Yeah. Bobby Riggs and Billie Jean King.
Wow.
That is correct for 6
Game
points.
over.
Tim Lunsford just moved up to 7 points.
Yeah.
Ush, you're going to need a wheel spin
Yeah.
to stay alive. You got to pick a number that correlates with that. What number are you
There
going
may be
with?
no wheel spins left. We've had 6.
50.
Number 50. Number 50 is not a wheel spin. Number 51 was a wheel spin, just to let you know you got close. Trying to, I guess, hurt you emotionally. Here we go. You can still beat Jim Dunaway, and that says something.
Does it?
Or an incorrect answer.
Yeah.
Makes you finish last.
Yeah.
It's a question about currency.
No. Passing it to Jim.
To me?
Yeah.
Jim, for 2
You
points.
had no chance of passing to him to get back in the game?
It wouldn't.
Wouldn't have mattered.
He'd still win.
Okay.
Jim,
You got all the money, Jimmy Dunaway. You gotta know this.
Yeah, you have money. I don't.
If crypto's the answer, I've got this.
This is the king.
Crypto King.
This is the king.
Jim, what is the currency of Poland? What is the currency of Poland? And will you help me invest?
We talking current day?
Yes. Did that narrow it down for you?
It did. It did. Ever since Poland joined the EU, they have become the euro. So I'm going to go euro.
That is incorrect. It is the zloty. Zloty is the correct answer. So Jim finishes at -1. Ush finishes at 4. And Tim Lunsford is our winner today, receiving a
Congratulations.
number 1 Contenders
Well
shot
earned.
against Spud. You led for a majority of the day. You got bludgeoned a couple of times, and then you came back and landed an absolute haymaker. How does it feel to be walking away a winner of Meltdown Triple Threat Trivia for this number 1 contendership opportunity?
Exceptionally lucky because there was a moment where I was getting beat like a redheaded stepchild and was only way was down, but looked up on one answer that could get a lot of points, and it just fell my way as far as the category.
Jim, do you feel like you performed
Couldn't
better
battle
than
that,
you
my
expected? Do
friend.
you feel like you would have only accepted victory? How do you feel about your performance
Like
today?
in all, it's like watching, when I watch on television, when I watch you guys at home or in the lobby, it's the same way. It's harder when you're in here under the lights. The game goes a lot faster in here than when you're out there. And I'm always able to answer other people's questions whenever I do this. Like, I knew who the 16th president was. I knew the Battle of the Sexes. You had one more that I knew that was yours. There was one he had.
Patsy Cline.
I didn't know any. Patsy Cline I knew.
You
I
went-
didn't know any of mine. I picked the wrong numbers, apparently.
You went to Tyler a couple of times. I assume there's no hard feelings that none of those resulted in points.
No. Tyler is Tyler's he didn't cost me. I did his answer once, my answer the other time. I knew that was early in the run of the series. I knew it was not season 7. That's why I went with 2. I did not know that season 1 had only 7 episodes. That's why I went season 2, because that seemed like a short run first season.
Tyler's itching to get in here. Tyler, what do you have to say?
I'd still think Jim was kind of robbed on the first one I helped him out on. I said it was a spaceship escape pod, and you guys said it's the E-pod in Space Odyssey.
I needed to hear, for my own personal clarification, 2001 A Space Odyssey. If you say that in any regard, it's based on 2001 A Space Odyssey. I don't care about the pod. I needed to hear the property. So that's going to be my official ruling there. But when you compete, I would love for you to throw that pretty challenge flag, which did not get thrown this entire time. Almost got thrown by Tim Lunsford, but he ended up winning. Ush, I'm going to give you the final word here on how the game went. You're not proud the fact that you finished in second place. It's first or last for you.
First loser. There's a lot of things I'm not proud of. I am proud of Mr. Lunsford. He gets out to an early lead, and then Jimmy D and I, we laid into him pretty good. We started throwing everything, his way, and he still beat us and really kind of whooped us. And so all credit to the king. We're going to go back to the lab, and we're going to work, and we're going to get better at this. Right, Jim?
I don't think so. This is a one-off for me, I believe.
I guess I should have rehearsed that ahead of time.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I don't think they invite you back when you finish
Jim,
the negative
poolside
numbers.
this weekend. Let's work on some trivia together, you and me. What do you
I'm
think?
out of town this weekend.
Oh, okay.
I apologize for that, too.
It sounds like
Golf
this,
trip. Dang it. Forgot.
Hey, a good coach always said you got to know how to win, but you got to know how to lose.
That's right.
Maybe I'll come on the golf trip.
I've had a lot of practice that cycle.
Quiz you between shots.
Has anybody ever finished with negative points and been invited back?
Oh, sure.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
Oh, gosh. EG's had like negative 50 or something.
Oh, really? That's not the way she talks.
Not to brag, but the one championship I've won, I had 9. Ush had -5. EG had -9, and everybody has returned. So
Yeah.
I have a feeling that EG will be making a return to the arena sometime very soon. She's been training. She's been taking it more seriously. She's not happy with her recent performance, and as a former champion, she wants to be able to contend at the highest level. Tim Lunsford has locked up one of those slots against Spud. That matchup is coming up in a couple of weeks right here on the Meltdown, and we are looking forward to that. I hope you guys can stick around because we have a topic I want to get everybody's opinion on, and it has to do with this next edition of Lunce's List. Having a fresh look is not such a bad thing. It's a good way to keep things looking sharp. The appearance of some notable sports franchises seem to change somewhat regularly now. Finding the balance between honoring the past and shaping the future with an intentional redesign while also making everyone happy is a tough task. But which 5 sports franchises that are in the professional realm need that new look the most? It's time to find out now on this edition of Lunce's List.
What is this? What is this? Nonsense list, nonsense list, oh. What is this? What is this? Nonsense list, nonsense list, oh. Nonsense list to five. Nonsense list to five. Nonsense list to five. Nonsense list to five.
All right, once again, you guys, make sure you're smashing that thumbs up button for us. Really does help. If you like Jim Dunaway's performance today on Meltdown Triple Threat Trivia, big thumbs up is what we're looking for from you. All right, John, it's now time to name the 5 professional sports franchises that you feel need the biggest visual makeover. And in this, you can take into account team colors, logos, uniforms, or anything that you would be considering the look of the team. You cannot change the roster, the head coach, the GM, any of that nonsense. It just needs to be aesthetics only.
it'd be the Titans if it was that. All right, moving on. Number
Yikes.
5.
Tim,
I'm wondering, does he think I will disagree with this list at all?
Tim,
right
that
now?
was a low
yeah.
blow, by
Yeah.
the way.
I can't wait to get the reaction here. I've done a majority of the talking, and now it's time for Dunaway to be able to play the aggressor and go after the list. At number 5, starting off, we have... I can't really see here.
the Atlanta Hawks. Well, they've gone back to their retro uniforms for the most part, have they not? Which are beautiful uniforms.
They went back to the retro logo, but not uniforms.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Okay.
like any of it.
Like a ketchup mustard look?
Yeah, I don't like any of it. Red and yellow, not a giant fan of. I'm okay with yellow. I'm okay with red. Not a big fan of that. This is a picture of Trae Young, so it's recent of the look they have. I don't know. It doesn't do it for me. Everything about it's I don't like old for old sake. Like, I feel like they're going back to the old look just to kind of be like, I mean, like I would say the same thing for a team like Tampa, just going back to creamsicle just because.
Oh, no.
Like, I feel like this is kind of what they did with there. They kind of went back to what they had before, and I don't like any of the red and yellow together.
That's my franchise, Tampa Bay, and I do not want to go back to the pirate logo. I like the battle flag logo. Now, the color scheme, occasionally working a little bit more creamsicle in, I have no problem with. But I think the 2002s, the uniforms we use now, are better. I don't watch enough NBA to know what their current uniform looks like, but I did like it when they went back to the old logo because I hated the bird logo, the Hawk logo.
I love the Hawks logo.
I don't like the logo either.
Like Jim said, that's classic logo. I think it's really clean. It looks great. I do not like the uniforms. I agree with Lunsford on that. I think that they could use completely different uniforms, but I like the logo a lot. So I'm kind of in the middle on this one.
I'm going to tell you that I don't know how many I have. There are 3 or 4 that you've got to have on this list. I can't wait to see the rest of the list.
Hawks fans have to be happy, though, to have the number 1 pick in the NBA draft, and that is something that's going to help change.
Only one time in their history they had the number 1 overall pick, 1975.
That's actually kind of surprising.
Yeah.
I feel like they've never really been great.
And they missed out on Luka Doncic.
I was about to say, hey, the best Hawk ever, Luka Doncic, for like 5 minutes.
No. Luka playing tonight.
Which,
go Luka.
by the way, that's like
Big
the dumbest
fan,
thing
Tim.
in drafts, that like the Hawks had to draft Luka and the Mavs had to draft Trae Young. That's
Just
the
swap it
dumbest.
up.
Yeah, that's the dumbest thing in drafts.
It worked out. I'm pretty happy with it.
It did
Let's
work
go
out.
with number 4 on Lunce's list. I have a feeling John is going to try to break my heart at some point, other than just the Titans and Mavs slander that he's throwing out there. Number 4.
That Titans comment was a low blow, Tim.
It was. No doubt. It will be held against him next Meltdown Triple Threat Trivia.
Good.
We can't have all the Lunsfords coming in here just cleaning up house. At number 4, the Washington Wizards, another NBA franchise here within the top 5. Jim, immediate reaction.
I hated it when they switched from the Bullets. I didn't love the Bullets name. I do not like the Wizards name. Never liked their logos that they tried. I don't like their uniforms. Don't like that franchise altogether. So Washington Wizards could go away, and it would not bother me at all.
The Wizards look like, to me, like a European basketball team. Their jerseys, I don't know why, when I see that, I can imagine like that's playing over in Spain or something like that. The Bullets name was whatever to me. The Wizards name is whatever to me. But everything else there, the Capitals, the Nationals, and Commanders, whether you like Commanders or not, the fit of those into the nation's capital, and then you have Wizards, change the name, change the look. You can still be red, white, and blue because it's still Washington, D.C., but do something better with it than what they've done. What they've done is not great. I've never cared for it from day one, either Bullets or Wizards.
Yeah, I do like that they went back to the look and colors of the Bullets, at least. A lot better than the Michael Jordan uniforms and that logo, which was abysmal. I actually like the old Bullets uniforms of my youth, but I'm a little more indifferent on this, and I think the Wizards' name's awful. I can't argue with that.
The Gilbert Arenas era does not hold up really well when it comes to the Bullets.
It does not.
No.
Yeah. Especially when they were playing the Toronto Raptors back then. That was a horrible uniform game.
That was tough to watch on the TV.
Yeah.
Okay. Will we be getting away from basketball for pick number 3? I have a feeling the answer to that is yes. I'm betting yes.
This is the most controversial one.
Here it comes.
Oh, this is the most controversial one.
Here it
Is it going to be the Buccaneers?
It's not the Buccaneers. He's already teased that it's not.
I'm going to get
Wait, what'd
ready
you
to
say?
comment on this
Yeah.
just because I can.
Oh,
This
we
is going to
just
go
have
back
to-
to his roots. I'm betting this is the New England Patriots.
I just have to address something. That old Raptors jersey is my favorite retro jersey. And you guys said it was hard to look at on the TV.
Oh, that is controversial.
hold on.
That is controversial. Man.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
We're lifelong fans of this franchise.
Oakland, Vegas, Nashville A's. You don't like the A's uniforms?
I'm not a giant fan of the Ace logo, the look.
So you don't like the green and gold and white?
Not a giant fan of the green and gold, but the thing is, since the franchise, if it is ever actually going to move, change with it. Change just enough. You can keep the colors, but change with it. I wear that elephant logo on my hat all the time. That's like one of their old alternate logos or whatever. I love that. Go with something like that. I'm just not a fan overall of the A's. I get the whole. Here's the thing. I don't like baseball in general. We're A's fans because we can joke about liking one
I'm
of the
not sure I want to be an A's fan with you anymore.
liking one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball, but that just doesn't do it for me. I mean, I went for the Hawks with the yellow mixed with another color I didn't really like. Yellow and blue I like, obviously being a Preds fan.
Is this also kind of a shot at UAB? Because I love UAB, and they also share a very similar color scheme.
That is true. Yellow and black I like. Played at Birmingham Southern, had that. Like I like the kind of Missouri, style. But just I don't know. It doesn't do it for me. And when they move, that's a perfect time to change.
I'm glad one Lunsford has some knowledge today because Tim overperformed and John is underperforming here. This is not a good take, Dunaway.
I'm not a baseball
You're
traditionalist,
buying
and
into
that's
it?
what this is.
They are changing cities, so if they change the look, I mean, green and gold, though, when I think of Las Vegas, I think of money and gold. So that's a good color scheme, green money.
Being cash.
I'd rather them go what the hockey team did, though, and go like gold and black, something like that.
Yeah.
All right.
I could not disagree more with this take. I love the A's colors, logo, uniforms, everything. It is classic. It is one of the best look in all of sports.
Plus, if you completely change it up, Moneyball doesn't hold as well.
Here's the take of all takes that'll make you all say, what the hell's wrong with you, and want to leave. Like, I probably like the Marlins look now better than
Oh, come on.
Atrocious.
Jim, save the show, man. Do something. You're sitting over there.
I
Put on a cape.
not sure Miami should have a baseball franchise.
Well, I don't necessarily disagree with that either. I'm just saying.
That's a whole
Lunsford
separate
wants
discussion.
all Major League Baseball uniforms to look like XFL.
I want Major League. I want Major League
black with
No.
purple.
I want Major League Baseball to enter at least the 20th century with what they have, much less the 21st century.
It's unnecessary.
it is crazy
That's
that
the truth, though.
that
Hey, how are you watching the Braves again? Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You're the phonograph.
when I was younger, the Braves uniforms were considered to be horrible. So they went to the retro Milwaukee Braves uniforms that they use mostly now, that everyone loves, but they love when they wear their throwback 70s uniform, which they hated back then. It's crazy how people end up liking things they used to hate.
And I will say one thing I do like about the Braves. I like the navy and red versus the bright blue and red, with the Wizards and all that. Like,
I agree.
I don't know. There's something just different enough about going darker colors with that I do like about the Braves. I just hate the A's with Alabama A's, and there's so much confusion with that.
Yeah, Braves had those when they first came to Atlanta. Braves had those actually in Boston before they were in Milwaukee. That color scheme and basically the same outline and logo, just the name letter on the cap changed. So,
John, you talk about having to go to new places for new looks. That's exactly what we have done with our friends at Way to Wellness. And it's been a lovely journey. Jim's been a part of that journey as well.
Oh, man, just unbelievable, the folks at Way to Wellness. You get an opportunity. Is this a soundbite?
This is. You're good.
No,
Go for it.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, I can talk, or are you playing sound over tape? Way to Wellness is unbelievable. Planforme.com. They changed these guys' lives. They're in the process right now. They helped me with my blood pressure, my cholesterol, kept me alive so I could finish with negative points in trivia today. They'll make your weight drop like my points did in trivia today. All you have to do is get that free consultation. Check out Leslie and her board-certified team at planforme.com, planforme.com.
And I know your dad, a champion today, sort of, a number one contender of Triple Threat Trivia, also experiencing the greatness of Way to Wellness over the years.
Well, I did win today.
I know.
Short,
you're
small
just not
victory.
a
small
champion
victory.
yet. You're not a
'cause,
champion.
You know, I'm about to get my brains beat out if we play this again. Way to Wellness. Leslie and her bunch have been life-changing, and Jimmy Dunaway did an excellent job. John's doing an excellent job. You're doing an excellent job. Of course, I came in as King Roost on that because I had the most I had to go. But simply put, when you get to be my age, you have to think, I'm not ready to die. And that's real. I mean, it sounds drastic, but it's not. And when you start getting all your levels in control, like Jim was talking about, and your cardio, your heart functions are good, it is literally life-changing. And I'm very thankful.
I appreciate you sharing your story with all of us, and all of these stories that are being shared, John, can become everyone else's story there by visiting our friends at Way to Wellness.
Yeah, like Jim said, aplanforme.com. Learn more about everything there, and there's nothing more I can say that those two haven't said, and we say every time. We're going tomorrow for our next weigh-in, and looking forward to seeing how much lower that number is. Thanks to everybody at Way to Wellness.
Let's now go to a lower number than 3. That is number 2, which is where we're headed on Lunce's list of the 5 teams that need the biggest makeover. I cannot believe this list so far has included the Athletics. I feel like there's
That's what I hope it is.
lot
Yes.
of other teams.
Yep.
What are you seeing that we're not seeing here? Ush?
This is a great call by John Lunsford.
What is the pick?
Great as his hair.
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Awful. And the thing I don't like about it, I don't like that the Jaguar head is like true to color, I guess, like how it has like the brown color of what an actual Jaguar would be. Like, for instance, the Predators. I mean, that's, basically a cat too, but they mix it into be the yellow and blue of their colors. They could do that with something like that. I would rather them just completely redo the logo. I'm not a giant fan of that specific color of, as I consider teal with them.
Yeah, I think so.
That I feel like I'd want it to be a little lighter than that with the black if they're going to do that. Not go necessarily full Miami Vice with it, but
Not North Carolina Tar Heel
not
blue.
North Carolina Tar Heel blue. Keep it kind of greenish. But I don't know, something about it just hasn't vibed with me, especially with the Titans who have the Oiler color scheme, which is that lighter blue that's really good. The Texans who have kind of that darker navy with red, white, and blue, and the Colts, which are just very plain, but nothing wrong with it necessarily. And then I feel like of the blues you have in that division, that one's so off compared to what everything else is, it just doesn't quite mesh.
Yeah, I would tell you that both these franchises, Jacksonville and Carolina, came in together in the 90s, and teal was very popular back then, and both of them have some form of
And I'm okay with
of
Carolina.
teal.
I'm okay with that.
I think both were misnamed and horrible logos. I hate Carolina Panthers, hate the Jacksonville Jaguars. Would not care if either one of those didn't exist at all.
They sound and look both like teams you can join on the Legends of the Hidden Temple. That's what I get.
They do.
Out of the Panthers.
But the
and
Panthers is
the
just
Jaguars.
like, I guess Panthers are black fur to begin with, but it just fits better. Choose something that fits better as a logo.
There's no way you can get to all of mine on your list now because you've only got one more spot.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I agree with Jimmy D. I think Panthers not good. Jacksonville though, logo, colors, helmets, everything bad. About
anyone
that,
ever
see, teal became popular the late '80s with the Charlotte Hornets, and even though they weren't a good team at first, they sold a ton of merchandise, and people loved the purple and the teal. And I think that's to Jim's point. That was kind of a popular color, working in different colors, but
didn't age well though. Nobody likes it anymore.
Doesn't work here in this context.
Has anybody ever seen anyone out in the wild wearing a Jacksonville Jaguars jersey?
Not outside of Duval County.
Not and live to tell about it. Think when they designed these uniforms, they were trendy, and if trendy never lasts, generally
right.
speaking, it moves on to the next fashion and the next, and a professional sports team is not gonna last that way. And I always really enjoy a nickname for a team that is in some related maybe to the area. Miami Dolphins,
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Well, even that
And
city, Florida Panthers. There's Panthers in Florida. Yeah.
But they, of course, they were just coming up with animal names. Just like if this doesn't stick, we'll do another one. Well, come up, just figure it out. Take your time. Don't rush. I think there's somebody's wife decided this is what they wanted to pick and do.
Jim, I know this is professional teams that we're counting down right now, but if we were to look at the college side and we were to reverse the list of best looking uniforms, they would all be traditional, right? They would all be what you'd
Yes,
expect from those traditional teams that haven't gotten too knee jerk in trying to have all these alterations and crazy things. Are there any that just jump out to you that look better maybe at night than they do in the day?
Oh yeah. I mean, I love USC home and away, but specifically their away uniforms. I actually like Alabama's away uniform better than I do their home uniform.
I do too.
I like Auburn's home uniform. LSU wears their whites. I like LSU. I like Tennessee's uniform. I wish they'd wear the orange pants more with the white tops like they used to do in the 70s. The SEC does a really good job with uniforms. I like Texas's uniform. They're all whites are fantastic, but I like the burnt orange as well. I'm an old UCLA guy. I liked it better before they started screwing with the gold in their helmets a little bit.
Even though they share the same color scheme as the Athletics, I'm not hearing any love for the Oregon Ducks right now. That seem to change every single week.
Yeah, it gets a little too much for me with the Oregon Ducks. Washington screwed their colors up a little bit too. Too many uniforms. Michigan's iconic. Ohio State, when they stick to their traditional uniforms, are really good. I like them better at home. Okay. A lot of good uniforms, but like your point, they usually are their traditional. They have a classic uniform.
And we cannot wait for all of those uniforms to appear again on our video game consoles. This upcoming summer, we are going to get a chance to play the latest NCAA football. And, Jim, I know you're very excited about that.
Oh, yeah. There's talk of us pulling an all-nighter for that live on this platform. So I'll be here, despite my age, all night long with you guys. Looking forward to that. And I would tell you, if we were doing a Lunce's list of people that should change their logos back, Arizona State with the Fear of the Fork. I miss the old Sun Devil.
I do too.
Yeah, that was a good one.
All right, John, any honorable mentions before we get to number one of those teams that need a redesign?
2 honorable mentions. One is the Commanders. That probably been number one for a lot of people.
Yep.
The darker red is not as bad as the brighter red, like what Atlanta does with the red and yellow. The darker red, I don't have a problem with that very much traditional aspect of things. I know the whole Redskins Commanders is a debate we can have that's a whole different thing. But the colors are okay with the darker, kind of the same with the red, white, and blue. I'm kind of like, I don't know who I was having a conversation with earlier today, but like red, white, and blue itself is just so overused for a reason. I get it. But that like, I'm like when there's little variations like the darker, and I kind of like the darker red here for the Commanders as well. The name's really the biggest thing there, and that's a whole different debate.
They're black alternate uniforms. I don't know if they ever wear them, but in Madden, I think that should be their primary uniform.
Yeah, I like
without lose the W. I like where it's the general stars, I guess, or the colonel, lieutenant stars on their helmets and the black uniforms, the way the scripting is and everything. That's the better uniform.
Part of what kept the Commanders and the Ducks off the list, the Anaheim Ducks, is their alternate uniforms, because the alternate look for the Ducks goes back to the old school Mighty Ducks look, as opposed to what they have now with their D, which is not good. But when they do have an opportunity and they do a lot of games go to something that works, as opposed to a lot of these, they don't go to anything that works.
What do you think of the alternate Dallas Stars uniforms that feature the all black with the neon green?
It's okay.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah. The Dallas Stars used
but
to
yet
be
you like laser tag.
Well, no,
anyway, go ahead.
I like the normal stars probably better.
The Minnesota North Stars, where Dallas came from, which is why you incorporated the green to start with. I wish Dallas would have changed their name of their hockey team when they got the franchise instead of keeping the stars there. I wish it was Dallas something else, more Texas. Do I get 3 points in trivia retro here if I guess who his number one is here?
I will not. I will not be able to do that. I don't think.
Okay, all right.
But
it wouldn't matter either. But
you think I know this? You think I know this?
Who do you think it is?
I think it ties into your high school history.
The New England Patriots?
I don't hate it. I'd much rather prefer the red, like their alternate reds. But
is that when you were at Homewood? Were you guys? Did you wear the?
No, we wore red with white pants when I was at Homewood. Like the bright, like with their alternate kind of look.
But did you have the snapping Patriot?
We switched right around middle school for me.
Oh,
I do like the old one better, but I don't hate what they have now. Okay. I'm not. If I had to choose, yes, I would choose old Patriot Pat and everything. But
yeah, Patriot Pat's fantastic. Should have never gone away.
But I don't hate it.
Yeah, I don't like the New England Patriots, and I don't like the Denver Broncos. Both of those were
Broncos is terrible.
Both of those were bad modernization of two great logos.
I don't dislike the logo. I do wish they go for that. I wish they would go back to a brighter blue and orange than the navy orange they have now.
I love that old Broncos logo and the old Broncos uniforms.
My number one is one that I'm going to get while I can get. That's all.
Wow. Okay. So it's going away?
By the way, Tim, I agreed with all of Jim's list on the college football uniforms. I love all of those. My favorite, he did not mention, Penn State. Love them.
A little bit, maybe this is controversial, a little bit too plain for me.
Yeah, I get that, but I like them. They work for me.
Once a year, they wear numbers on their helmet, which I think is a really good look. Oh, look at this.
Okay,
the Arizona
depending
Coyotes.
on which uniform you're talking about, I might disagree with you. Because
there is no uniform that looks good for the Arizona Coyotes, in my opinion.
No, I like the one that has the coyote with the goalie mask. That's done
the
in
one
like
I'm
the
showing
Native
right
American
now.
style.
It is awful.
Yeah,
I love that one.
Horrendous. And I get they're going for a certain look being in Arizona. that the Diamondbacks have done before. I don't know if the Suns really have done it, but I get what they're going for.
Give me a look here.
It's the goalie. It looks like a weird drawn Coyote Jason. That's
right.
A weird abstract Coyote Jason that's on
description.
there.
Coked up werewolf.
Yes, pretty much.
Great description.
I didn't hate the logo they did before. There's just kind of the head, just kind of plain. It wasn't much, but I hate this. I hate their alternate jerseys, which are like solid red that just says like Arizona or something on it. But this franchise, as of right now, does not exist because after this season, even though the season's not technically over, it has long been over for them. Is becoming defunct. Now it can come back, so it's still able to come. I think 2029 is when they have to figure it out in Arizona. But the franchise is picking up, moving to Utah and setting down, and it will not be called the Coyotes anymore. Right now they have a thing you can vote on like 40 names to choose the different names.
And they're all horrible.
And they're all not very good. I don't know what that's going to look like because like the Jazz is a team that like I like the old purple kind of look, but I don't necessarily hate where it is now. Not my favorite, but I don't necessarily hate where it is now. But I'm very curious to see what they do with this because I think they knocked it out of the park with Vegas and Seattle in hockey. I think those are two really solid looks. I love the Kraken name. I mean, I don't care about the Kraken at all necessarily. I don't care about Seattle at all necessarily, but I bought Kraken gear when it happened just because I like the whole vibe of it. But the Coyotes are awful, and if they ever come back, they need to burn everything about what it currently has and come back as, even if they keep the Coyotes, come back as some different look. It just doesn't do it for me.
It's my favorite state flag, Arizona. It's my favorite state flag. And I think you could have used that state flag and created a really great logo off of that.
Yeah, it's not it. That's it. Arizona Coyotes.
Sounds like the only thing that would have made this a controversial number one pick is the fact that it no longer exists and will never exist again.
No, it can't exist if Arizona – the NHL, I think, has given them until 2029 to get their affairs in order to get an arena because they don't have one. They had to play at Arizona State.
Right.
And
they can resurrect the Coyote.
The Coyotes are not dead. The Coyotes are currently on a hiatus, but the franchise has picked up and moved to Utah temporarily. Or I think it's going to stay in Utah, but they can bring back everything, and the NHL said we'll honor all the records. This will be the Coyotes franchise as far as anybody is concerned if you figure out the arena by 2029. Okay. So it still is technically around.
Sounds like I need to grab a jersey while I can then.
Is there any way going forward that this logo in the middle of this jersey can exist going forward? Because to me,
seems like it's going to be a while.
When John had it pulled up on preview screen, I felt like I needed to go out there and hit a knee. I mean, need counseling after that. That thing's that or some serious ayahuasca has been going on when that thing was designed. That's awful.
We're going to get Tyler to create the new logo.
We were talking about Penn State and how that classic, gridiron tough uniform, and then you look at that crap.
Yep. One place we want everybody to look towards, that's the casino feature there at MyBookie. However, if there are sports fans that want to be able to participate in some extracurricular activity, tons of options there at our title sponsor, John. That's MyBookie.
Yeah, if you want to go bet on the A's, even though they don't look as great as I think they could, you can go to mybookie.ag. You see right there, promo code next round. I got to reach a little further there. Promo code next round. Use that at mybookie.ag. Get that first deposit bonus on us. You can bet on the hockey playoffs, basketball playoffs, Major League Baseball regular season. Get ahead on college football and NFL season with some futures there, but also that casino, like you mentioned. Live casino, playing there all the time. Blackjack, a lot of great games. You can play in that live casino. Go to mybookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere.
You guys in the chat today have been awesome for sure. Make sure you're smashing that thumbs up button for us here on the live stream. Always appreciate you interacting here with everybody that's watching along live. Tim Lunsford, our big winner today of Meltdown Triple Threat Trivia. You will be back in that seat right there in just a couple of weeks. You have a couple of weeks to prepare for what will be the toughest challenge of your life in Spud in trivia. That man knows his stuff.
Well, thank you very much. And the best part about today was just having a little time with you fellas.
Oh, how kind
Because
is
I
that?
will get my brains beat out next time. So,
Ush, any final advice for Tim Lunsford as he prepares for Spud? What kind of animal is Spud? We've seen this crazy coyote. Spud's similar.
My best advice is just keep being you because it's working.
Okay, that's life advice or game advice? It
Both.
sounds like both. Okay.
Both.
And
that's kind of all there is.
Jimmy
I like it.
America, we appreciate you making time for us here, making your Meltdown debut, your Triple Threat Trivia debut, and we hope it will not be the last time you join us here in the studio. I hope you had a lot of fun.
Oh, I have a blast. I watch the show when I'm not on it. And I have a strong belief that's getting misinterpreted here on the campus that that Lance, me, and Brown should not be on your show too much because you guys have an amazing thing going on.
Thank you.
Don't
I don't know who started that rumor. Who started that rumor?
Don't litter it with us. We have our
I
own.
haven't heard this.
We have our own platform. You don't need us in here enough. You guys do tremendous work without us. You don't need us coming in here to slow things down.
Okay, we will welcome you back in with open arms tomorrow here on the Meltdown. No, we'll have to work that out with his people. We appreciate all of you supporting the show, and the channel will be back with you tomorrow. Tyler, I didn't forget about you. You're awesome, man. Appreciate you being here, working hard. We're going to see a bunch of movies this week. We'll talk about them later on this week. We've got Meltdown Arcade, by the way, debuting tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that. 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern, right here on the Meltdown.